Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release, reliving the glory days, one video game at a time. Welcome to November 1982.
Michael Knight, a young loner on a crusade to champion the cause of the...
We were last on the Commodore VIC-20 playing Choplifter, the quintessential Choplifter. It was excellent, so good. Let's press forward to see our next release. Next, we're going to the Atari VCS. Now, 2600 is the new moniker, sort of, since we saw a taste of the 5200. And this is Condor Attack. I am not familiar with Condor Attack. Let's check it out together. Starting with the box. This marks the... Well, this is actually only on the Atari 2600, and this marks the 164th game we've played on that Atari console. And what in the world is this? What is this? Ultravision? Oh my gosh, does this mean there's another publisher for the Atari VCS? That's it, we're going to a chrono recap. How did we get to this place? Well, if you go all the way back to September 1977, the publishers just keep adding up, and the very first publisher was Atari. They were the only publisher for their console. You can see an example of Combat that's over here, and as time went on, something happened. We just keep getting more and more publishers. After the first publisher that we ever saw on the Atari, there also was the Sears telegame system, so some of the games were published by Sears, and that was it. It was just Sears and Atari as the only publishers. And then at some point, around July 1980, Activision hit the scene. And because they got ramped up as the very first third-party publisher, and I'm talking for any home console ever, it opened the floodgates up, and now everybody wants to be a publisher for the Atari. So after Activision, also in 1980, we saw Funvision. Vision's going to be a trend with all these publishers. After Funvision, in December 1981 was when we got our first taste of Apollo, and they've been making quite a few games as well for the Atari. And also in 1981, we saw ComaVid. After ComaVid was American Video Game that we saw in April 1982. And then Bit Corporation, also in May 1982. After that, we saw Mattel Electronics with the title M Network for their games, also in July 1982. After that was the amazing Magic in July 1982. After that was Tiger Vision. And then after Tiger Vision, we saw Parker Brothers publishing games for the Atari. After Parker Brothers, Coleco started publishing games on the Atari VCS. And then we saw Data Age in August of 1982. There's Journey Escape, if you enjoy the band Journey. And after that, we saw Venture Vision. After Venture Vision, we saw Arcadia, and then they changed their name to Starpath. After that, we saw Spectravision in September 1982. Then Fox Video Games started to publish games on the Atari VCS. After that was US Games. And then after US Games, we saw Telesys in October of 1982. After that, we saw Areolasoft. After that, we saw Mystique, which changed their name to PlayAround. And then, besides the saturated market in North America, there's also publishers in Europe like this. CBS Electronics was a publisher in Europe. And we also have Telegames. There's publishers all over the country. There's also CCE that was publishing in Brazil. There's Starsoft and Zellers and Game World. So this means this is the 29th publisher that we've seen on the Atari VCS right here in November 1982. Ultravision, joining the ranks of all those other publishers. It's just crazy. So this is Condor Attack, and to tell you how deep the well of Atari games go, this game, because it's a very, not rare, but it's just a really obscure third-party release, this goes by so many different names all over the world. This is also known as Demond Attack, which can lure you into what they're trying to rip off here. But besides that, in Germany, this game is known as Galactic and Space Birds. In Europe, it's known as Space Monster or Space War or Year 1999. In Brazil, it's known as Superbird. In Taiwan, it's known as UFO. In Canada, it's known as Vulture Attack. I was hoping Bald Eagle Attack was a real name, but it's not. I also would love to know who in the heck programmed this, because someone needs to step forward, because I have no idea who did this one. Yeah, it looks like we're going to be attacking condors, that's for sure. You flip it over the back, it gives us... Now, this one's unique because it's the first time we've seen an Ultravision box. They're going for a grid style, but it doesn't feel very 80s grid style. It feels old school grid style. if that makes any sense. Yes, Ultra Vision. Let's see what another Vision game will give us. And what other art do we have for Ultra Vision? Oh yeah, we have the original scan, and then we have the cleaned up box. it's just going to make this saturation of the market. More and more publishers. And here's the ad you would have seen in magazines at the time. Oh, karate. We haven't seen that. This is the very first one we've seen by Ultra Vision. Leading Innovative Entertainment Idea Alternatives presents Ultra Vision. I don't know if they're going to stand the test of time. Now, the cartridge is really interesting. Can everyone see this? There is a handle at the bottom of this. I have not seen this myself and actually held the cartridge, but this is one of the most bizarre cartridges ever that we've seen. We have seen handles on the Fiddler's Video Pack console, and so this one's like an even more jank version of that, and I'm sure this broke off. Is that what it looks? It does kind of look that way. Conan the Barbarian's tinier brother. And there's the example of the screenshot. We also have the manual for Condor Attack. How do we kill those condors? Oh, yeah, there we go. Is that Conan the Barbarian shooting a laser gun? Man, so it's sci-fi and killing the condors at the same time? That's just ridiculous. Earthbase has evolved 1 million years into the future. An intergalactic dispute erupts into an all-out spatial explosion, time-warping civilization back to the Stone Age. Pitted against each other in a fight for survival is the Condor, released from 1,000 millennium of extinction, larger and more ferocious than ever imagined, and mankind in his most primitive state. That's pretty cool. So this means this lore is so outlandish and so out there that it's both a science fiction and prehistoric game at the same time. It's awesome. So they give us a defense command briefing. You're in command of the only sophisticated weapon to survive the Millennium Warp, where we warped back in time, I guess. We're alone on a remote fire base and have a critical, difficult mission using the Galactic Disintegrator. I'm not going to go any more than this. This lore is fantastic, though. Read to your heart's content. It explains how to begin the game, what the different difficulty switches will do for us. We can do right or left difficulty switches. And this was the extra switches that most people didn't really use. I didn't whenever I had my Atari. I mostly was hitting the select switch to play. But you select the difficulty decision that you want, and I think that's it. You press the game select switch. Okay, so the game number appears at the top. So they do have game selections, but they don't explain it very well. So this is the first manual by Ultra Vision, and it's not as clear or concise. They're giving us a few screenshots. They're not even explaining anything. They're just giving you screenshots. That's what it is. All right. It doesn't explain anything. Here we go. That's explaining what our fire bases are and game selection. But does it tell us what the game selection does? It doesn't. But the object of the game is prehistoric cosmic battle to defending Earth and mankind from all taking over of deadly enemies. Condors, I guess. Giant ones. Defend Earth with your joystick controller. Push controller forward to materialize the fire base. They'll begin attacking, firebombing the base. Okay, got it. And this feels like all that lore is just going to be moved left, right, and fire. It's got to be that. I don't think so. Maybe they didn't need those mainly. And then they explain the score over on that side. So very bizarre manual. I wonder if they rushed that out. So like I said, there's lots of other versions out there. High Score Games did it in PAL regions as well. Let's pop in Condor Attack. First time you could play it in North America by Ultra Vision in the beginning of November 1982. Who did this? Step forward and tell us. All right, so game modes. Game mode 1. Game mode 2. Game mode, oh, that's it. There's just game mode 1 and 2. I think it's because maybe we can play with 2 people, but alternate play. No, I think it's only single player. That's all we got. All right, let's push reset and go. And you push up, yeah, just like they said, on the joystick, and play. So it's moved left, right, and fire. And this is so bizarre because I believe it's the first time we've ever had a Demon Attack clone where they're trying to rip off Demon Attack. Look at this. But, oh man, there's a lot of things to unpack here. This looks and sounds like I'm playing an Atari game. But if you didn't hold this joystick in your hand and play this game yourself, you wouldn't experience the strangeness. There's a weird offness about this. There's a jankness about this. Whenever I move left and right, that's pretty smooth. But notice the way that the characters or condors are moving. They're like glitching in and out of existence. But whenever I fire, I can't shoot again until the explosion of the enemy is gone. So the balance of the game is so warped and weird. I'm familiar with firing one shot, waiting my turn, and firing again. We got it from Space Invaders. But what in the world? Oh, so we got a Condor going crazy now. But this one, I cannot fire again until the explosion goes away. It also looks like some of the characters... What? Yeah, they disappear whenever you fire? What? And don't adjust your sets. I've seen video footage of this being played on real hardware, and from all the people I've seen play this game, it looks the same. Like I thought something might be wrong with this one. I'm already seeing in the chat someone already throwing out 2 or 2.5 stars of everything you could play. I can't believe how fast this is going now. But it's like the hit detection feels weird too. They're trying to get people to see a screenshot of the game and buy this, but it's terrible. This is really, really bad. I can understand why no one has claimed themselves as the programmer for the game, because it feels like it's a rush job, big time. So this is the 359th fixed shooter we've played on the show, starting all the way back with Space Invaders. There's a ton out there, and after that we had variants of Galaxian that were ripping off fixed shooters, and this marks the 79th game that's a Galaxian style game. But even further than that, this is more like a Phoenix variant, you know, like it's the 22nd Phoenix variant we've played here on the show. Good gosh, can I go again? I don't know if I want to. it's so jank. Now, I wouldn't even want to call this Phoenix. Even though it's supposed to be ripping off Demon Attack, this plays more like Galaxian than Phoenix. You know, there's no boss, too. And there's better games you could be playing across home consoles right now. Galactic Invasion, or Galaxian, was on the Astrocade. It plays better than this. Galaxian, and which was also renamed to Space Attack on the Arcadia 2001, plays better than this. I would even say Galaxian, that was on the Epoch CassetteVision, the console in Japan. I would rather play that one than play this game. And that was not even using traditional joysticks. It was those knobs on the Epoch. This just... It's very bad. I can't believe they want to call it a Demon Attack ripoff. There's better ones than this too. Threshold is available for the Atari, and Space Vultures is on the Arcadia 2001. If you want to play something that's, you know, a better version of this on home consoles. Yikes, that's pretty bad. So looking over the chat, besides the original I saw, yeah, it's too much jank, Marshall. I'm with you. I'd say, because I see this as one of those ones you're going to find in a bargain bin and it's thrown in the pile, this is affecting the video game industry right now. Thanks, Ultravision. So I'm going to go really low. I'm serious. I'd rather play Galaxian on the Epoch CassetteVision, which really doesn't play like Galaxian. It just plays better and more fun than this. See, 2.5 because of Condor is nice. Yeah, I'm not going to go that. I'm going to say bad. This is our bad range of all the games you could play across all home consoles. I'm going 1.5 stars for Condor Attack. And you have to play it yourself. It looks the part and it sounds the part. It doesn't play the part. Something is rotten. And Tisky's with me on that too. All right, so after that crazy bad release, let's see what our next release is. We're next going to go to the Commodore VIC-20, and this is Conqueror. Let's check it out together, starting with the box. What a front of the box. Nice artwork. I'm loving it. Conqueror plunges you into medieval Europe, where land and men were divided among kings. There were serfs and soldiers, trades made at the marketplace, and battles fought over land. The land was divided into kingships owned and ruled by lords. To their advantage, they would attack a neighboring kingship. Assume your position as lord of a kingship. Eventually, one king will come to rule the entire land and become emperor. Maybe that will be us. Let's find out. This game is only available on the Commodore VIC-20, and this is the 305th game we've played for this little micro. The Commodore 64 is already out, and so this is cool that this is only available on the Commodore VIC-20. You need 16K for this one, and this is by Computer Software Associates, the second game that we've seen by them so far, and the other game we saw by them was Johnny Jump It. If you haven't seen that, it's so cool. It's one of the first platformers, and it's amazing it works on the Commodore VIC-20. It's like a legacy platformer, so now they're doing a completely new genre. We flip it over the back, and they explain everything, including a screenshot, just walls of text. This is Conqueror. On cassette tape. Oh boy, is it. Do we have any other artwork for this? This was done by Computer Knowledge and Bill Davidson, and it's the first game we've ever seen them do. All we have is a screenshot, and that's it. All right, popping in Conqueror to play. Bill Davidson and Computer Knowledge. First time we've ever seen him. It's the beginning of November 1982. Let's do this. Go, go, go. This game takes, bear with me, 8 seconds to load when I fast forward. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have never seen, and I'm fast forwarding, by the way, we're fast forwarding at about 500% the speed you would have waited for. That's a very, very long time. There. We blinked into existence. It took a lot longer than I thought. All right, there you go. Conqueror by Bill Davidson. All right, how many players do we want? Now, before I started the show, I tested out how many will it accept. This game will accept 15 players. 15. You can play a game with, well, you're going to be playing and taking turns, but 15 players for a video game. That's really, really cool. One of the other only games that has more players than that was Galaxy, the one by Avalon Hill. But 15 players, we are not doing that. We'll do 2 for tonight. And you can put your player names in. Let's put Chrono, and then for second player, let's do, last person in chat was Manly. All right, so Chrono and Manly, player 1, player 2, hit any key, and let's go in and play. The stats, which means this is yet another simulation, and this one is a management or business simulator, but in the frame that you're going to be a king of, or a serf, and turn into an emperor if you can. This marks the 54th game that you could play that's a managerial business simulation style game. And this one's taking nods from a really, really old mainframe game called Sumer, another variant, and this is the 15th Sumer variant that we've seen, just bare bones. It gives us all the stats for player 1, gold, wheat, iron, and soldiers. Population, gold, and wheat, got it. The census, and then Manly shows you all of what Manly has. So you go player 1, player 2, and you take turns. Winter year 1, you can press S to restart the game if you want. So starting with King Chrono. Now I can choose and make decisions. I can manufacture plowshares. The interface is interesting because all you have to do is type one letter. So if I want to like manufacture swords, all I gotta do is hit S. And sword takes 5 pounds of iron. Looks like I have available iron. So how many? I want to manufacture swords. Oh, S. How many swords? Give me 5. I'll take 5 swords. And then end. And then you're just going turn by turn, making the decisions. Are you going to make the right decisions? You won't find out till the end. And if we want to make some money, we can tax the people. I just want to give a tax on gold. We won't take their food yet. How many coins per season? How about 20? And then end that. There you go. Make some money. And then let's go ahead and... Can we go to war? Oh, sorry. W to go to war. No war on the first season. Sorry. Okay. We can't do that. All right. So that's it. And I believe in my turn. And when I'm done, it gives you more stats. Country zone, gold, wheat, and iron taken. None. Shows how much tax I got on the gold. I don't think I have that many people in my kingdom anyways. And then the soldiers... pay. Oh yeah, I got to pay all those soldiers, even though we didn't go to war. Shows us how much gold's remaining, and then it goes to player 2. You take your turn. 15 players could be playing this. So if you got a party of 15 nerds that want to play a simulation strategy game right now in November 1982, this is pretty good. This is a lot of people to play. Now, we played other games that are really close to this. Games like Viking and Warrior, and so there are other titles that you could be playing like this, but 15 people is really cool, and using the motif that it's medieval, you know, you're a king trying to make the best decisions for your people, or just tax them to death. Oh, Manly can fire soldiers, awesome. Yeah, and so like King Manly can, oh, sorry, F. I keep trying the numbers. Number of soldiers, he's got 990 soldiers. How many soldiers do you want to fire? Let's throw 10 out. It'll help save on costs. And then you can hire more if you want to, tax the people, manufacture swords, and then we'll just say end. Let's see what happens if we go to war. I do have a digital joystick plugged in, but I don't know what it's going to do. All right, so there we go. We got more stats, winter marketplace, and then now we can buy more. I'm going to go with soldiers, 2. Number of seller, and then quantity, 2. Number of buyer, 3. Total price, I don't know. Let's try 4. Are you sure? Yes. Transaction complete. And then I guess every season you can go to the marketplace and get more stuff, more plowshares. Spring begins. And now I want to go to war. Go. Oh, I'm sorry, war. There we go. Do we want to deploy soldiers, attack a country, and end? So let's deploy. Country of deployment. I don't know what Manly's country's called. Is it called Manly? Kingdom of Manly? No. Okay, let's just do attack if I do attack country, I have to know what the name of the country is. If I do England, what happens? No, I think you have to know the name before you attack. So, which means if there's extra paperwork to this game, we don't have it, or where we to reference that. Interesting though, because all we have is deployments. Yes, I'm wondering if there's other paperwork so you know which countries you can attack, unless it wants. Oh, I see a number. Okay, let's try that one. Let's do attack a country. Number of country. Okay, I want to do country number 2. Number of soldiers attacking. I want 100 swords. That's right. I only have 5. I have 100 soldiers and 5 swords. Let's use all 5 swords. Attackers and defenders. Attacker number 1, hit return. Attacker number. Okay, so it's doing the. This is how the battles are waged. Attackers have been totally wiped out. Oh man, that was really fast. So Manly's armies destroyed me, or whatever country I tried to attack destroyed me. So there's the example of. There you go. Yep. So it makes sense now. You're just using a number frame, which is much better than other strategy or simulation games we played. You have to put the whole name in. So it's a very, very quick taste of Conquer. Really, really impressive with the number of people you can play. But that's not all. It's also a well-done simulation strategy game for all the ones you could play up to this point. But some of the other ones we've seen play like this, really, really similar. So it's still around the average range for all the games you could be playing across all home computers. This showcase was so fast, though. So you could give it a notch and say, I really enjoy this because it's being a king. So I'd say 3.5 stars. But I'm still going to say pretty average for everything you can play up to this point. Yeah, see, Manly's throwing out 3 stars. Thanks, Manly. We can beat each other up another time. You are the king this time. 3 stars for Conqueror, though. You would have some fun, and pretty average for all the games you could play across all home computers. All right, with that, let's press forward to see our next game after this commercial break.
Well, this is what you've been asking me for over the last few months. The Atari video game and Space Invaders.
Nice.
Let's see how long that keeps you amused.
Still an excellent
new
game.
Atari video computer system. 45 cartridges containing over 700.
Oh, there you go, the Pele Soccer one.
And
On Super Breakout. Yeah, it's all the classics.
Dad, I'm beginning to get a bit bored with this.
Typical. You never stick with anything long.
Love it. It's time to go back to the Atari and play Cosmic Creeps. Let's check out Cosmic Creeps. Starting with the box. Another one I am not familiar with, but the front of the box is very well done. Intriguing. Cartoonish even. This is our 165th game we've seen on the Atari VCS. Plays on the Atari. And it's only on the Atari. You can't get this anywhere else. Sometimes if I know that this wasn't ported anywhere else, then I think, this probably isn't so good. But front of the box looks pretty good. Flip it over on the back. It says, civilization is doomed unless you can save the cosmic kids. You must get your Orbinaut from the planet up to the space station, then rescue the kids before the planet's orbit decays completely. But watch out, villainous space skeeters and cosmic creeps are constantly on attack. I still don't understand. What is this picture? Do you see this? That is not an Atari joystick, is it? One-player joystick controller designed by Danyo? Is that a different joystick? Now, we already saw a different one that SpectraVision had. The SpectraVision something Sidewinder? I can't remember the joystick. But that came with some of the SpectraVision games on your Atari. I'm not familiar with that one. All right, so let's see the other artwork we have for Cosmic Creeps. Is that what the aliens are supposed to be? There you go. Reconstructed back of the box, and then the original. Ah, in all its grainy glory. I love it. This one's done by Telesys. The third game we've seen so far. First one we saw was Coconuts, and then after that was Fast Food. And this one's done by Don Roughcorn. Way to go, Don. Don's the one who did Fast Food, and I really like that one. That Fast Food was all right. All right, so after the ad you would have seen in magazines at the time, pretty simple, but yeah, the front of the box has really nice artwork. That's what it looked like, a floppy joystick. And we have an example of the screenshot too. Here's the manual for Cosmic Creeps, or Game Instruction. How do you play? And it tells us the opposite of the game is to save the Cosmic Kids from certain destruction and score as many points as possible. Haven't heard that one before. Before the planet falls out of orbit. When it disappears from the screen, your time is up. Use the joystick controller, make sure the power's off before inserting or removing. We've heard that so many times. I think I could do a class on how to run Atari VCS games. The difficulty switch does nothing. The game reset plays, but I think this is only a one-player game again. Where's all the options? All the options and variations of the game are totally gone from Atari now. That's why we had the video game crash in North America. It's because all these games stopped having variations. We need the variations to keep the console industry alive. All right, so the game is played in two parts. The first part is called the Voyage. You get your Orbinaut from the planet to the flashing white portals of the space station at the top of the screen. Push the joystick forward to release your first Orbinaut. He heads from the planet, and you make it to the top. If you do, then you go to the next place, which is called the Rescue. The Rescue has the lower left corner. The first of the Cosmic Kids is trying to escape, but the Cosmic Creeps are running behind them. You have to bop the creeps back to the planet, allowing the kids to reach the upper right corner. So we're saving kids in November 1982. That's it. Don't let a creep through either or the game's over. You have to release your bopper. Was this made for kids, Telesis? It says fun and games, but I feel like there's a, not early childhood, but a younger demographic that's going for this one. Thanks, Brian. Maybe that is the reason of the crash. Oh, man. Oh, I wish it was. It's not, though. Great shout out for Cosmic Arc. Cosmic Arc, excellent. This was available in PAL regions too. We're playing the first in North America. Cosmic Creeps by Don Ruffcorn and Telesis. The beginning of November 1982. All right, so I'm going to try the game modes. And yes, select is doing nothing. There are no game modes. What about anything? No, there's no game modes whatsoever. So hitting reset and we're in. I push up. There's my little kid. I got to get him to the top by avoiding everything. Just get to the ship at the top of the screen. So I have full control. Once you get him to the top, now I'm in control of the ship at the top of the screen. And I'm firing down, trying to destroy the creeps before they get to the top. Yes! Can I shoot the... I wonder if I can shoot the kid, actually. But all the creeps do is monotonously walk back and forth on the screen left and right. So it's like we're playing even more boring enemies than Space Invaders, but they are large, they are colorful, and they're slightly reminiscent of what you would have seen on the box. This is another game that it would look nice as a screenshot. I see what they're doing. They know that people are seeing the screenshots and it looks impressive, especially when you say there's 2 game modes. But what you're seeing here, this is the second phase. This is about it. You got slow-moving creeps and fast-moving creeps. I understand the graphic appeal, but as far as the gameplay, this feels like it's a step back. It's at least this second mode. This is a fixed shooter, the 360th fixed shooter we played across all systems. So you need to do something new. This feels like a step back, though. It's another game that does sound Atari-ish. It makes me enjoy hearing the Atari sounds, but I mean, you can see what I'm trying to do. All I have to do is continue to shoot the cosmic creeps until, if you look at the bottom of the screen, the planet is slowly drooping, or setting, if you will. And I just have to prevent them from coming to the top before the planet, or have the planet all the way, and the planet did, and we did it. Both screens complete. We've successfully beaten cosmic creeps, but you know it's not over. It goes right back to the beginning again, and then I think, yeah, we go to the first mode, but now everything just gets faster, so you go game by game, going for the high score. Now this is, you can see I get free reign to move around as the kid. You just got to get to the top. Then once you get to the top, now you break in the bonus points. Now, can we shoot the kid? Yes, you can. You do not get the bonus points for doing that. I think if you rescue the kid, you get 15,000. And if he doesn't make it to the top because you shot him, you get nothing. You lose. That's genius, P. Warner. This is a need to fix this shooter. That's exactly what this is. If renting video games right now was a thing, this would be a rent for 1 day, and then you'd have enough. But we know you didn't do that. So while this isn't based on anything in particular that we've seen, it's doing something different and new, where you have 2 different screens, but it's still very simple, but it feels like a step back. There's nothing that is redeeming for all the games you can be playing across home consoles. Hopefully, if you're tuning in to the show and you think that this is what November 1982 video games are like, no. I'm going to say that's all the taste will do for Cosmic Creeps, because I want to let you know this is not the norm of video games for home consoles right now. This is the norm for bringing down the console quality. This is another one. It was renting. Right now, you could rent Cosmic Creeps in November 1982. They didn't have any rental stores that I was around whenever this was there. So I would say of all the games you could be playing up to this point across all home consoles, I already see in the chat 2. I see lots of 2s. I see a question mark too. Yeah. Oh, 2.5 for graphics. I'm not even going to be that kind. I'm going to say bad. Of all the games you could be playing right now, it's another 2-star game. Add this to the pile of all the games we played up to this point that is causing the video game blow up, like in North America. It's Atari Shock. It's starting now. Too bad, though, because I had a lot of fun. We're getting still inconsistent releases. That's all the time we have for Chronologically Gaming for this episode. We're going to keep playing every single video game as they come out in order of release across all systems all over the world. That's it for today, and like I always say, that's not it for today. Next time on Chronologically Gaming, put on your adventure hat and let's play some Doom in 1982. Also, don't forget about the Videocade, because we got a new release that's up there with the Incredible Wizard. That's it for today, and like I always say, let's discover something new in 1982. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.